Good morning, students. Today we will discuss another phylum, which is Echinodermata, as the special characteristic feature shown by the members of echinoderms may be understood by just splitting the term, which we may consider it is made up of echinus, which means spiny, and derma means skin. So the animals which bears spiny skin, or we may also call them as spiny skinned animals, they do are present within the echinoderms. If we go for the other characteristics shown by the echinoderms, we may consider they are exclusively marine animals found in the salty water. Triploblastic in condition do we have discussed from the group Platyhelminths. All the members from onwards Platyhelminths were triploblastic, means they have originated from three germ layers: ectoderm, endoderm, and in between the mesoderm is present. Whereas they are coelomate animals, means true coelom is present, means body cavity is present, means the cavity in between the body wall and the alimentary canal. So due to presence of true body cavity, it is having the true organs and organ system level of body organization. The second characteristics we may consider, the adults, they are radially symmetrical, means the adult life forms of the echinoderms, they can be divided into two equal halves through any plane passing through the central axis. So the members, they are adult forms, they are radial symmetrical because the body can be divided into two identical halves through any plane passing through the central axis. Whereas the larval stages, they are showing bilateral symmetry, means the body can be divided into two equal halves only and only through one plane passing through the central axis. The next characteristic feature, it shows the presence of endoskeleton of dermal calcareous ossicles. So they are having calcareous ossicles as in the form of endoskeleton. As the digestive system is concerned, it is complete with separate opening of the mouth and anus. The mouth is on the lower side, or we may also call that side as ventral side, or due to presence of mouth it is also called as oral side. Whereas the anus, it is on the upper side or dorsal side. It is also called as aboral side. So as we may observe, the presence of mouth is on the ventral side or on the lower surface, and it is also called as oral surface. Due to presence of mouth, it is called as oral surface. Whereas the presence of anus, it is on the upper surface or dorsal surface. So it is also called as aboral surface. The members, they exhibit a very peculiar system which is called as water vascular system, which helps the members in the purpose of locomotion, capture of the food, as well as transportation of food, and it also helps in the purpose of respiration. As we may observe in the diagram, the water vascular system of the starfish has been shown, which helps them in the purpose of locomotion, in the capturing the food, as well as in the purpose of respiration. any specific type of excretory system is absent. The purpose of excretion is fulfilled by the simple physical processes which may include diffusion and some other aspects. Regarding the sexes, the members, they are dioecious, means they are unisexual, and the reproduction, they reproduces through sexual mode of reproduction. The fertilization, it takes place outside the body of the female, so the external fertilization do this shows, and the development includes the involvement of larval stage. So the development is called as indirect stage, means the larval stage would be indifferent, or we may say the larval stage would be different from the adult stage. As just we have discussed, in the case of adult forms, they are radially symmetrical animals, whereas the larval stage, they are bilaterally symmetrical animals. So the development is indirect, means the involvement of larval stage is there. The members are concerned, for example, the Asterias is also called as sea star. So just we have discussed, we have observed the starfish, the oral surface due to presence of mouth, and the aboral surface due to presence of anus, which is the dorsal surface, and the mouth is on the ventral surface. Ophiura, also called as Ophiothrix, which is commonly called as brittle star. Next member is the Echinus, which is commonly called as sea urchin. More members, Cucumaria, also called as sea cucumber. More members are Antedon, which is also called as feather star. More members, which is Gorgonocephalus, also called as basket star. Now we'll discuss another phylum, which is Hemichordata. As the word hemi means half and chord means cord-like structure or string-like structure which may be present within the members of Hemichordata. Before, the hemichordates were considered as a subphylum under the phylum Chordata, but now it has been placed as a separate phylum under non-chordates. So, if we go for the characteristics shown by the hemichordates, we may go through that. The presence of rudimentary structure in the collar region, which is called as stomochord, which is similar to the notochord. As the body of the hemichordates, they are divided into three regions: proboscis, collar, and trunk region. So the presence of rudimentary notochord, which is called as stomochord, is present within the collar region, which is similar to the notochord. The members, they are exclusively marine animals, means found only in the marine water. The body is soft, fragile, and vermiform, means cylindrical in shape. And just we have discussed, it is divisible into proboscis, collar, and trunk region. As the same character we may observe as we have discussed from the phylum Platyhelminths, triploblastic condition has arisen. So these the members of the hemichordates, they are also triploblastic in condition and having true coelom, means true body cavity in between the body wall and the alimentary canal, lined by the mesoderm line. And the symmetry, as they show, they are bilaterally symmetrical animals, means the animals can be divided into two equal identical halves, passing through their central axis only and only through one plane. The circulatory system is concerned, it is of open type, means there is no any such type of blood vessels to carry the blood within the body. The respiration is concerned, it do takes place with the help of gills. And the excretory organs, they are present within their proboscis gland. They are unisexual animals, means they are dioecious. And the fertilization, it takes place outside the body, means external fertilization, and the development is indirect, means involvement of the larval stage within their life cycle. As the larva is concerned, it is called as Tornaria larva, which is a free swimming larva. So as we may observe the involvement of Tornaria larva in the case of Balanoglossus. Examples are concerned, the common member is the Balanoglossus. The Balanoglossus, it is commonly called as a corn worm or also known as tongue worm. Another members include Saccoglossus. It is also known as Dolichoglossus. More members, Rhabdopleura. So this one is Rhabdopleura. More members, Cephalodiscus, etc. So it is Cephalodiscus. Now we'll discuss about the next phylum, which is Chordata. As it is this phylum, it shows the presence of notochord-like structure present within their body, due to which the name has been derived Chordata. If we go for the important characteristics shown by the members, the first feature is presence of dorsal hollow nerve cord. Means the central nervous system of the chordates are present to the dorsal region of the body, whereas in the case of non-chordates, for example, we have discussed the different phylums regarding the phylum Arthropoda, Mollusca. So these phylums, what they exhibit, that the nervous system is present to the ventral of the body, but in the case of chordates, the nervous system, the central nervous system is present on the dorsal part, on the dorsal region of the body, and it is in the form of longitudinal hollow or tubular nerve cord lying just above the notochord. So we may observe in the diagram, that is the basic body plan of chordates, that the nerve cord, it is dorsally placed and hollow in nature, and it is present just above the notochord, means it is present dorsal to the notochord, running from the anterior end to the posterior end of the body along the lengthwise in the body. In the vertebrates, the anterior nerve cord is specialized to form a cerebral vesicle or brain, which is enclosed by a protective bony or cartilaginous cranium, whereas the posterior part of the nerve cord becomes the spinal cord and protected within the vertebral column. So in the case of vertebrates, the nerve cord in the anterior region, it becomes to form a specialized structure which is called as cerebral vesicle or brain, and whereas the posterior region, it later on it becomes the spinal cord, which is protected by the vertebral column. Now the next important feature is the presence of notochord. This notochord, which is also called as chorda dorsalis, is an elongated, rod-like, flexible structure extending the length of the body. It is immediately present just beneath the nerve cord and above the alimentary canal. We may call it as the notochord is a rod-like structure present ventral to the nerve cord and dorsal to the alimentary canal. Means it is present in the upper region to the alimentary canal, whereas it is present to the lower region with respect to the nerve cord. So we may call the notochord as a rod-like structure present ventral to the nerve cord and dorsal to the alimentary canal. The notochord is the prime diagnostic feature of the phylum Chordata, which derives its name from the word. It also serves as a support or internal skeleton and is not to be confused with the nerve cord. So we have to be careful that notochord is a special rod-like structure and it helps to provide the internal skeleton and not to be confused with the nerve cord. And later on in the adult vertebrates, it is surrounded or replaced by the vertebral column. So just we have discussed the nerve cord, the posterior end of the nerve cord, it is replaced by the spinal cord, whereas the notochord, it is replaced in the case of vertebrates in the form of vertebral column. Now the third prime important feature, which is presence of paired pharyngeal gill slits. We may observe the paired pharyngeal gill slits on the left side also and on the right side of the body also they are present. So in all the chordates, at some stage of their life history, a series of paired lateral gill clefts or gill slits perforate through the pharyngeal wall of the gut behind the mouth, and they are variously termed as pharyngeal or branchial or visceral clefts or pouches. They mostly serves as a passage of water from the pharynx to outside, thus bathing the gills for respiration. So, what are these pharyngeal gill clefts, paired gill slits? Means in all the chordates at some stage of their life history, a series of paired lateral gill clefts or gill slits perforated through the pharyngeal walls of the gut behind the mouth are present, which helps in the process of respiration. So these three are the prime important characteristics exhibited by the members of the chordates, which are the presence of dorsal hollow nerve cord, presence of notochord, and paired pharyngeal gill slits. Whereas the other characters we have discussed, they are bilaterally symmetrical animals, means the animal can be divided into two equal halves, passing through the central axis only and only through one plane. The body is coelomate, means true coelom is present, means there is body cavity in between the body wall and the alimentary canal and lined by the mesoderm line. And all are triploblastic animals, as we have discussed from the group Platyhelminths, all were triploblastic animals. And due to presence of true coelom, the members they exhibit organ system level of body organization. And the chordates they show the closed circulatory system, means the blood flows through tube-like blood vessels within the body to circulate the nutrients and waste products within the body. As well as we may observe the mouth, the paired pharyngeal gill slits, and this is the anus. And behind the anus we may observe a tail-like structure is present, so it is behind the anus, so it is also called as post-anal tail. So, we have discussed about the basic body plan of the chordates, upon which the body of chordates is made up. Now we will compare the chordates to non-chordates. As we have discussed, in the case of chordates, notochord is present, which is present dorsal to the alimentary canal and ventral to the nerve cord. So as we have discussed, the notochord, which is present dorsal to the alimentary canal and ventral to the nerve cord. Whereas in the case of non-chordates, notochord is absent. The second feature we have discussed, the central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single. So we have discussed just now. The central nervous system, which is the dorsal hollow nerve cord, is present dorsal to the body in the case of chordates. But in the case of non-chordates, the nervous system would be present ventral to the body. Means in the ventral region of the body, the nervous system of the animal would be present in the case of non-chordates. As we may observe, the nervous system in the case of cockroaches or the invertebrate or the non-chordate group, they are present in the ventral region of the body. So, the non-chordates, they do so central nervous system in the ventral position and solid and double. In the case of chordates, pharynx perforated by gill slits. So we have discussed the pharynx is perforated by the gill slits, whereas gill slits are absent in the case of non-chordates. In the case of chordates, the heart is present ventral in position, whereas in the case of non-chordates, if heart is present, then it is dorsal in the body. In the case of chordates, we have discussed a post-anal tail or tail is present, but in the case of non-chordates, such type of post-anal tail like structures are absent. So we have discussed about the basic body plans of the chordates as well as the hemichordata and echinoderms. Till so far here, thank you. Have a nice day.